Hit that like, hit that subscribe, turn those notifications on. Sports Hounds are live right now.
Let's go! This ain't the fuck like oh, this game he stinks!
Oh shit!
It's gone!
Good evening, everyone. Happy Monday night. This is the Sports Hounds, exclusively on A2DRadio.com. He's Brad Ryer. I'm Rob Brinkman. Frank Vesby's producing. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Twitter. We're live on Twitch. We're live on Periscope. We're live on Instagram. If you miss anything here on A2D Radio, download us wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Spreaker, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Takeover Talk 2022, the year of A2D Radio. Don't miss a damn thing. We're on the road to January 9th, Dallas week in Philly, A2D Radio in the ramp booth. We're going to be there tailgating in the Jetro lot. Come join us, rant. We're going to have food. We're going to have drinks. We're going to have everything. We're going to roast the Dallas Cowboys, and it starts tomorrow night, Brad. We're going to have Monday Night Football live reactions. We got the Browns and the Raiders in a barn burner right now in Cleveland. We got the Vikings and the Bears kicking off around 8:15, normal Monday Night Football time. We got around the NFL. We got NBA talk. We got Philly talk. We got New York talk. We got it all covered here on the Sports Hounds for the next 2 hours. And guess what? Noah comes on right after us. Jimmy and Evan, the Flight Zone. Tommy Arnaud, Monday morning quarterback, was on before us. So you got all night, Monday night, right here on A2D Radio. You don't got to go anywhere. We got you covered. As always, the Sports Hounds brought to you each and every Monday. He's our doc. Make him yours too. Dr. Paul Vidal, specialized physical therapy. 2 convenient locations, Burlington and Cherry Hill. Like I said, he's our doc at A2D Radio. Make him yours too. We're also brought to you by Body Check Wellness, a line of products that promote wellness, balance, and recovery by using the full potential of hemp. They come in extract, blends, gummies, and topicals. Use promo code A2D, 25% off. You need a last-minute stocking stuffer? Body Check Wellness got you with the hookup. 25%. All you got to do is type in A2D. It's only 3 letters. A2D, 25% off. Can't beat it. All right, Brad. Obviously, we have a big-time football game in Philadelphia tomorrow night. Monster playoff implications, division game, the whole thing. And I'm over the Eagles playing 3 games in 13 days. I'm over the game getting moved. It's done. It's over. I can bitch and moan for the next 2 hours. Jimmy and Evan can bitch and moan for 2 hours after us. Tommy Arnaud can make 18 million videos about how it's not fair. It doesn't matter. The Eagles in Washington, they're playing tomorrow. The Eagles are going to have a quick turnaround. They're going to play the New York Giants on Sunday. Done. Over with. I'm done with it. I'm not even touching it. But what we have tomorrow is a big-time football game at the Link. And lights, camera, action, Nick Sirianni brings us to our poll question tonight. Nick Sirianni. I don't even remember thank you, Frank. Nick Sirianni is the key to the Eagles' victory tomorrow. Agree, disagree, let us know in the comments. Brad, this is a stone agree for me. Nick Sirianni needs to validate his resume. He needs to validate to Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman, who hired him. He needs to validate himself to the Philadelphia faithful that he was the right guy to hire. He needs to grab this locker room by the balls and get a freaking win tomorrow. It's the biggest game of his young coaching career. It's also the biggest game of Jalen Hurts' young career, who, by the way, today has no injury designation. He is not on the injury report. Jalen Hurts is going to start the football game tomorrow. I don't know who's starting. I don't know who's playing for the Washington football team, but you got to get a freaking win. Darius Slay, Fletcher Cox, all your veterans are tweeting up a storm. about how it's not fair. We got to play 3 games in 13 days. Why is the game moved? They said before in the offseason, no games are going to get moved. It doesn't matter. Nick Sirianni needs to grab this locker room by the balls and get me a freaking win tomorrow in the link. Period. End of story. You need to validate your young coaching career tomorrow, Nick Sirianni. Lights, camera, action. So it's a stone agree for me, Brad Ryer. What say you?
I agree with you about that. I think that he has to have them ready to play. And, the players need to stop crying about the situation that's at hand. A lot of teams in a lot of different sports right now are being affected by what's going on, unfortunately, with this virus. And it's got to stop. It's got to stop, and they got to be professional. And I think if the Eagles are professional about this and they go out and they do what they have to do, Washington has a lot of guys that are playing tomorrow. The Eagles have no excuses not to win the game. From what I've heard, Heineke, it sounds like he's going to play. If he tested, I don't know if he tested negative.
I don't know. So
here's
how I understand the Washington quarterback situation. They're going to travel separately to the game, and they're going to do their tests, and they have to have until 2 or 3 p.m. tomorrow to produce however many negatives they need to play in the football game.
Right.
So
they have, from what I've heard, Heineke has been tested negative for 3 days in a row. I don't know what happened today. Obviously, if he tests negative today and then tests negative tomorrow, that's the necessary 5 days in a row. So he'll start. It sounds based on that, it would sound to me like he's going to play. I think as long as Heineke plays, the Redskins are going to be very competitive, and it's going to be a big, big, big game for the Eagles. This is a game they've got to win. They can't lose this game. They go on the road. If they have to rely on going on the road to Washington to make the playoffs because they lost this game, they're going to be in very big trouble.
So tomorrow,
handle it like professionals. Stop whining. Okay, there are 2 other games that are being played, and these guys are out there playing, so they're not the only team that has to deal with this crap. Stop whining about it, and understand the NFL was never going to cancel a football game and forfeit a football game. Okay, if you think Jeffrey Lurie is going to take all that money he got from ticket sales and TV revenue and give it back to the fans, okay, you're nuts. That's what this is all about. Okay, the owners don't want to give any money back, so there's going to be no forfeits.
Right, so and that's fine. I don't want to forfeit. That's not the way.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm glad they're playing.
I've heard I know you brought up the gambling issue, which I don't think has anything to do with it. To be quite honest,
it has everything.
I think it's completely the owners not wanting to give back any money. Okay, because if the game was forfeited, then the fans wouldn't get to go to a game, and they would have to give them their money back.
Yeah, but they just give them a credit for next year, and
but that's giving their way. That's giving back money. The owners are not the NFL. These owners want every dime they can get, and they are not going to cancel a game. They wouldn't even cancel a preseason game, let alone cancel a regular season game.
You're probably right, but 2 things that I'll say is DraftKings and FanDuel and Vegas have everything to do with games getting moved. Don't tell me that the official DraftKings is official sponsor of the NFL. So scumbag NFL, who said they would never get in bed with Vegas and gambling, they have an official sponsor that's a sports book. So don't tell me that the president of DraftKings isn't on the phone with Roger Goodell saying, hey, Raj, we can't really set a fair line. We don't know what's going on. Can you push these games to Tuesday? If you think that can happen, you don't have a clue. And if you don't think TV had something to do with it, so they can have Tuesday night programming and an extra Monday game here we
agree. It's about
roster of players. You're also out of your mind.
It's about the money. The owners are in bed with the gambling, and they're getting money from DraftKings and TV rights. The owner, guess what? The owners want their money for that, and they want their money for the ticket sales, and they don't want to have to give anything back. So if you think the game was going to be forfeited, let me tell you something, Rob. They play the damn game Wednesday or Thursday and then just push the season back a couple of days if they had to. They'll do whatever they have to do to make sure all these games are played. Okay, it's not about being competitive or anything else. They want the money. That's the bottom line.
And then I don't want to hear
these games come hell or high water.
What doesn't have anything to do with these football games getting moved is player safety, because the NFL has proven time and time again that they don't give a fuck about their players.
No,
they don't care at all about their players, and it's disgusting. It's absolutely fucking disgusting. Every time this conglomerate of the NFL is faced with a decision between player safety and money, they pick money every time and twice on Sunday. That's why they dominate a day of the week. So I don't want to hear a damn thing about player safety anymore.
Oh, no. Anybody who thinks it's about player safety is out of their mind. It's all about money. And the more the NFL tries to tell you that it's not about money, just remember the more it is about money. Okay? The more they try to deny it, the more they're lying.
So we got a poll question. Nick Sirianni is the key to the Eagles' victory mark. Don't agree.
He's getting in their ear, and he's got to make sure these guys stop complaining about the situation with playing a certain amount of games in a certain amount of days. It's over. It's done. Okay. The hockey teams have to deal with it. The basketball teams have to deal with it. The NFL has to deal with it. Nobody is going to forfeit any games. And if you think any of these leagues are going to allow games to be forfeited, you're out of your mind. Okay?
Like, if you really want to break it down, Brad, Seattle is getting the shortest end of the stick here, because Seattle is not mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, and all the Rams keep doing is getting healthier and healthier. Ramsey's off the list, Odell Beckham's off the list, and Seattle keeps putting guys on.
Well, bottom line right now is that the Rams are going to win anyway. The Rams are just better than Seattle. The Rams are starting to turn it on. The Rams are going to end up with the second best record. Tampa Bay had some catastrophic injuries yesterday, so I think that's going to really hurt them. I think they could end up falling all the way to fourth as far as the seedings go. I think you're going to be looking at the Packers, the Rams, the Cowboys, and then the Tampa Bay Bucks.
And then we're gonna be down there January 9th at the Ramp booth tailgating. Dallas might be playing for a 1 seed. Eagles might be playing for a wild card. That game's gonna mean a lot.
Yeah, that's gonna be. Yeah, it's gonna be. That game could mean a lot to both those teams. Because Dallas doesn't. I mean, if Dallas falls to say the 2 team, they're gonna have to play the Eagles twice in a row. And you don't want to play anybody twice in a row, let alone 3 times in a season, because the third time usually is the team that loses the game before usually ends up winning the next game. From what I've seen in situations like that. So, and now it looks like the Browns have tied the Raiders, and they're going to look for the extra point to take the lead.
A flag on this play. So
there's a flag on the play.
I mean, Nick Chubb right now is a man possessed. What a terrific football player Nick Chubb is. I mean, just putting the team on his back. I mean, Nick Mullins, he was in camp with the Eagles, and he looked horrendous all preseason. He's starting the football game for the Cleveland Browns tonight. The Browns
they just got called back.
Home. A little bit of a weird start time for Vegas, but Nick Chubb is putting the team on his back tonight. He's on one, as they say.
Yep.
But Fan Up is the best way to enjoy fantasy sports, daily NFL contests, and more. Win great prizes. Sign up today. Use promo code A2D. 5,000 free bonus points. That's a $50 value. Fan Up only in the Apple App Store. Try and fill out a lineup for the Bears and the Vikings tonight. I think Justin Jefferson's going to be my captain. All 4 of the starting secondary guys for the Bears are either have COVID or are injured. So I think Justin Jefferson, I think he's pretty much a lock to have a good game. I'm going to use that multiplier on him, get that 1.5. Shoot us your lineup in the comments. Tweet your lineup to Fan Up and us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the whole thing.
Yeah, I like Minnesota. I like Minnesota tonight, even though
the Bears are just shot. The Bears are they're just shot.
I think at this point the Lions might be able to beat the Bears.
But I mean, the Adam Thielen's not going to play, so a little bit. But you still got Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson to deal with, and Kirk Cousins is decent enough. He's never won back-to-back primetime games, though. I always get on him for that. But yeah, I mean, I was hoping the Bears would kind of throw the rest of the NFC, the Eagles included, a little cookie tonight and take down the Vikings, but I don't think that's going to happen. Gleason's Bar is located 6700 Mill Creek Avenue in Levittown. Use promo code A2D, 10% off. That's who sponsors all your comments for the fan, by the fan. We need your contributions to this show. We do it for you guys. Bryce Blackwell, he's in the house. Browns, here they come. I hope the Browns do win. I hope they do win because, Cleveland, they got great fans and they never win anything. And
yeah, I can't say
get it done here. You got to get in the end zone here. Got to get in the end zone.
They're going to go for it on 4th down. I think that's pretty much guaranteed with 4:28 to go. They almost have to. So
our poll question tonight, Nick Sirianni is the key to Eagles' victory. It's a stone degree from me. It's lights, camera, action. You need to validate the fact that you were hired as an inexperienced candidate right here, right now, tomorrow night, division game, playoff race. You got to grab this locker room by the balls, Nick. Grab them by the balls. Shake them. Slap them in the face. Do whatever you got to do. You got to come away with a win tomorrow, Nick.
Are you planning to call Urban Meyer for a little help?
Maybe. Hey, whatever you got to do. Whatever you got to do.
I'm joking about that, but I think you're right about that, and that's a nice play by Mullen.
There's another flag.
Another flag, though. I wonder if it's on. It's probably on the Raiders, though.
Looks like it's on the Raiders. Browns are celebrating. Tommy Arnone's in the house. Me and Brad both agree to the poll. Jake Friel, he agrees with the poll, but it's also important for Jalen Hurts. It's all like Nick's got to have Jalen Hurts ready. It all starts. And look, guys, I'm a big believer that players make coaches look smart, not the other way around. I've said it 85 million times in our 7 years on the air, Brad. But I think this is one of the few exceptions where the coach is the number one X factor in the football game. He's got to have Jalen Hurts ready. He's got to have all the boys ready to go, and he's got to get a win.
Do you think Jalen Hurts is up to the challenge in a game like in a basically almost a winner take all situation? That we don't know, and that's the X factor.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's the X factor. Heineke, he's played a playoff game. He's played in some big games already. Even though his career is very young, his first game in the NFL was a playoff game against Tampa Bay. I don't know who's going to be playing for Washington tomorrow night, and I don't know who's going to be out. So it's pretty hard to handicap the game. I think if both teams had all their players, I think Washington would win the game because I do think Washington is a better team when everybody's there. But I don't know who's playing for Washington. Yeah, I don't know if McLaren's going to play.
One guy who definitely won't be there for Washington is their terrific guard, Brandon Scherf. I believe he's one of their team captains, so he's not going to play. He's out. So Fletcher Cobb, Hargrave.
We don't know. We don't know who. As I said, we don't know who's playing and who's not playing. I don't think that. I think the most important players on the team are obviously McLaren, Heineke, and that's kind of where
Gibson's been running the ball good. We'll see if J.D. McKissick is going to play. He didn't play against Dallas. I think that was a big loss.
That was an ankle, but he had an ankle injury.
Yeah, he's not COVID, but he had an ankle injury. We'll see if he can go. Gibson's a terrific running back, but he keeps fumbling the football and getting in Ron Rivera's doghouse. And Ron Rivera is just simply not going to put him on the field if he keeps fumbling the football.
No, he will not. He will not.
And then, they have a little bit of a gap at tight end. Logan Thomas shredded his knee a couple weeks ago. You hate to see that. He looked like a young, promising player, former college quarterback, actually, at Virginia Tech. Converted to tight end, was doing a nice job. Julio Figueroa, he's going down to the link tomorrow. Let's go, Birds. Come on, Chicago. The best Christmas gift, beat Minnesota. I hear you. Julio, make sure you leave extra time because there's a Flyers game at the same time as the Eagles game. Parking's going to be a nightmare down there in South Philly. So
that game isn't canceled? I thought the Flyers had a canceled game.
No, they played Saturday against Ottawa. And they're not playing a team from Canada. They're playing the Capitals. So,
geez, that's going to be a big game.
Yeah,
guys. The Rangers have already lost 2 easy wins this year. They lost a game against Ottawa, and now they're losing Wednesday night's game against the Canadiens. So sometimes the hockey gods aren't with you, in that case, but. That it is what it is. Can't win them all.
Benny Nation, the game should have been played on Sunday. I mean, they were just never going to do that. They were never going to do that. If they had morals and followed their word, it should have been played on Sunday. But, they're not. They're scumbags. They want the money. They don't care about player safety. And so we're playing Tuesday. It is what it is. Like, we can yell and scream about how the Eagles got the bat shoved up their ass. Doesn't matter.
What they should have done, and I know nobody's going to like this idea, but what they should have done is they have 2 weeks in between the Super Bowl, okay? Instead of wasting 1 week so that they can have all their stupid bullshit and all their promoting and all that crap, use that extra week so that you make sure all the games get in and all the playoff games get in.
Yeah,
there is no reason to have 2 weeks to have the Super Bowl. You know where the location's going to be. It's not like there's not going to be a location to play the game, okay? You use that extra week just in case for situations like this. The Eagles could have played that game. At the end of the season. You start the playoffs 1 week late. What is the big deal? I don't understand that at all. Just completely, it's not right. It's not fair to the Eagles at all. And really, it's not fair to Washington either.
Well, how about the Browns, Brad? How about the Browns? The Browns come back. They play Saturday. They play a Christmas afternoon game.
Yeah, them too. And the same goes for Seattle and LA. You have that extra week. What's the big deal? I don't understand. You have to have 2 weeks between Super Bowls.
No,
they play every freaking week the entire season, and you have to have 1 week of the newspapers spouting all the stupidity about somebody, one of the football players owning a horse, or another football player may have thrown up last night, or God forbid, another one got a haircut. And we got to find out how many hair follicles fell on the floor. That's the kind of stupidity you see during that off week. Okay, I mean, it's ridiculous. The guys aren't even down there at that point. So
that should be a wrap on this game right here. Derek Carr just took a shot deep, intercepted by Cleveland.
Raiders do have most of their timeouts, though.
They have 2 in the 2 minute warning, so they could get the football. They could get the football back.
Yeah, they have 2 timeouts in the 2 minute warning. So I mean, if they are able to hold them, which I doubt they will, because it looks like at this point the Raiders' defense is shot. They've been
the way Nick Chubb is running the football right now, I would not bet.
Yeah, I wouldn't count on it. I wouldn't count on it. I'm questioning the wisdom of that because I think that was a dumb play. You didn't need to go deep that early. You got 2 minutes and 27 seconds. If you're going to try to win the game, why not take your time and get down there and try to run out the clock and make the Browns use your timeout, the timeouts, and then try to kick a field goal to win at the end? Don't understand that at all.
Especially since it clearly wasn't there. Like the Browns had it.
And then he forced it, which was just not. That was a stupid play. I just that play was almost as stupid as the Ravens yesterday with
and
Harbaugh.
Oh my God, the Ravens. And then it's a shame because I've developed a little bit of a soft spot for the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
had a lot of shit go wrong for them.
I mean, my brother-in-law is a big fan of theirs, and I kind of have a soft spot for them with all the stuff that's going on and all the injuries that they've had, and even losing Humphrey a couple of weeks ago. They still managed to be in all these games against some pretty tough opponents, and if whatever can go wrong for them at the end of these games seems to go wrong. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And how about their backup quarterback? He looks like he's a pretty good quarterback.
Nick Mullins, he stinks.
No. I'm talking about the Ravens' backup quarterback.
Oh, Huntley, yeah.
Huntley, I like him. I like him. I think he's pretty good. I don't think he's as good as Lamar Jackson, but you know what? He's got a pretty good arm, and he's pretty accurate, and he can run.
He won a lot of football games for a very underrated program over there at Utah in the Pac-12. So.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. I'll tell you what, if somebody's looking for a quarterback, you could do a lot worse than trying to grab him from the Ravens. I don't think the Ravens would ever even think about giving him up because he's a lot like Lamar. So if Lamar's hurt, you put him in and you really don't miss all that much.
That second effort by Nick Chubb.
Yeah, Nick Chubb is just playing
at a very
high level right now.
What a player. Bryce Blackwell, we got to win tomorrow. Eagles got to win tomorrow. got to be focused, stop going off on Twitter. But he's nervous. I'm nervous too because the last time the Eagles played on Tuesday night was 2000 and what was it, 10, 11?
I can't remember that far back, to be honest with you.
It was Miracle at the Meadow. It was Miracle at the Meadowlands. It was Michael Vick season. The Eagles had a damn good football team. And
Miracle at the Meadowlands that year.
Michael Vick. When they,
you mean the punt return?
Yeah, we were up 31-7 on you guys, and
the punt return. The punt return. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Deshaun punt return, and Vic did the whole thing. Eagles had a damn good football team that year. All they had to do was take care of business against Minnesota, lock up a bye week, and a quarterback by the name of Joe Webb beat them. Ruined the bye, so they had to play Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers in Wild Card weekend at the Link, which was a really tough draw, and they lost the football game. And the Packers went on to win.
I do remember that game.
The Packers went on to win the Super Bowl. So that sticks in my mind, and that worries me. So, like I said, I need Nick.
I don't think you're going to be looking at the Eagles getting to the Super Bowl this year.
No, but
making the playoffs would be a monumental achievement for them.
I just don't want to come out flat and look like a bunch of bums tomorrow. Because if they come out flat and look like a bunch of bums tomorrow, I hold Nick Sirianni 1,050,000,000% accountable.
What you think these guys come out
use the gasket.
Sulking? You think they're going to come out sulking and not come out and play? I don't think.
If that happens, I will be furious with Nick Sirianni because he didn't do his damn job and it was a bad hire. I'll even go that far.
I don't think
you go out and you fight hard and you lose a hard-fought football game, okay. You tried, but Washington, they have good football players over there, and it looks like they're going to be getting a decent amount of guys back where they can actually be competitive. So if you go out there and you hit them in the mouth, they hit you in the mouth, and you lose, okay. But if you come out flat and you come out unprepared and you come out and just get flat embarrassed at home in a must-win spot, I'm going to be furious with Nick Sirianni.
I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't think that's going to happen.
Brad, the Eagles aren't that good.
I understand that, but Washington is okay. They're not that great either. It's not like you're playing Green Bay tomorrow night. You're playing Washington. Washington's pretty good. Obviously, they did find a way to beat the Tampa Bay Bucks, so they got it in them to win big football games. Obviously, we'll see. We'll see. This is a big game for the Eagles.
Las Vegas Raiders are going to get the football back. They need a field goal to win the game. That did not look like the greatest.
That was a pretty lousy punt. And let's see what happens.
Renfro they got back there.
And you know what? The Raiders have another lease on life. Remarkably, if they can
look who's in the chat. Look who's in the chat, Brad. Don19 is in the house, checking us out on YouTube. How about them Lions yesterday, Don? Taking the Arizona Cardinals to the woodshed, 30-12.
That had to be the shock of the day. I didn't see that one coming.
No, especially after the loss on Monday night, where Kyler kind of threw that pick in the red zone, and it just took all their wind out of their sails. You think they come out and they take a little bit of frustration out on the lowly, stinky Detroit Lions, but they were not ready to play.
Well, the lowly, stinky Detroit Lions, their last 4 games are 2-1-1, and they have been playing a little bit better. So I'll tell you what, how big a tie was that game against the Steelers? Right now, the Steelers, that game's killing them right now. That game is absolutely killing them.
Yeah, and I don't think the Steelers got a big win yesterday against Tennessee, but I don't think that Big Ben is so washed.
He is, but they're just, they're winning based on will to win.
Well, Tomlin's a terrific football coach.
He is. I don't think there's any doubt. He's doing a super job this year.
7. It's a big time throw.
There you
go. Big time throw by Derek Carr. Man, he really likes the Zay Jones guy, number 7.
Yep. That was a big play. That's a big play. Plenty of time. He still has a minute. He's probably got 4 plays in him.
Joey G. Bardino's in the house. That could have been
there's another 10. There's another 10 yards. I mean, the Raiders right now are they're getting close to field goal range. What do they need? Maybe 20 more yards to have a very makeable field goal. I don't know who's their kicker now these days.
Carlson, he's a beast. He's probably going to make the pro. He's probably an all pro. I mean, he makes everything.
I mean, is he Justin Tucker? Oh, there you go. Now they're definitely in field goal range. You want to get the ball. You want to get the ball inside the. Here's a flag. Oh boy, that's a killer penalty on the Raiders. Wow. These referees should be putting the whistles away at this point of the game. I hate that.
But that's a hold.
That's a hold. But he wasn't anywhere even near the quarterback. He's way on the outside.
Well, even more so not to put him in a Chief J. Strongbow sleeper hold.
Yeah, well,
I call that.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad.
You got to call that.
I guess so. They need the Raiders need. I mean, the Raiders now are really backed up, and he's got to get out of bounds now. That was a nice.
He got out of bounds. I mean,
that was a nice play. I'll tell you.
Carlson's got a big leg. 22 seconds.
Yeah, but you don't want him trying to kick a 60-yard field goal. You'd like to at least get it inside 50.
Well, I mean, this is where they're at. They're backed up.
Yeah. Well, where are they?
I try and hit him with a draw here.
No, you can't do that because then you have to spike the ball, and you may not.
You can if you do it right.
You could
look at that A gap. Look at that A and B gap. It's huge.
Well, they're giving it to him right now.
They dial up a blitz. They got to hustle.
Now they got to. Oh boy, I don't think they're going.
Well, he can't hold them down like that. That should be a delay of game on Cleveland.
Yeah, but they're not going to call it.
They're fine. Wow.
Spike it. Oh boy, 47-yard field goal coming up.
Wow.
Oh, what a job by
Zay Jones. What do you have? Like 4 catches on that drive?
Anybody who wants to continue to criticize Derek Carr at this point,
no, I'm off that train.
He's at this point. That's
well, I think that with all the Raiders' problems, that the coach leaves, Henry Ruggs, total tragedy.
Yeah,
and that the fact that they're in this thing speaks to Derek.
This is a long kick, though. I mean, when the game's on the line from 48, that's a long kick.
Right down the center.
He's got it. And the Raiders win a huge game.
Oh, they iced them. They iced them, though.
They called the timeout?
Yeah, they iced them.
Oh, boy.
But, yeah, Derek Carr, I mean, the fact that they're still in this after all the tragedy and trials and tribulations they have, that speaks to his leadership ability.
If you remember our interview with Jeff Jager.
Great interview.
He said that can get to you. That ice the kicker does work. So especially if you're on the road. Wow. So they get one more shot at it.
I hope he makes it.
Yeah, I hate when they do that, but you know what? They might do it again. They could do it 3 times if they want to.
No, you can't call timeout on back-to-back plays.
Oh, you can't? Okay.
No, it's a 5-yard penalty.
Oh,
might be a 15-yard penalty. I'm not sure. It's definitely a penalty, though.
Oh, yeah. You don't want him to get any closer.
Right down the center again.
That was even a more impressive kick.
Good for them. Wow. The
Raiders come back and win after getting shellacked by the Chiefs last week. They come back into Cleveland and win this game. You got to think if Mayfield was playing, I would think that the Browns probably would have won the game. But still.
I don't know. I don't think Mayfield's that great.
You know what the problem is? The Browns did not get the job done by getting a first down and putting the game away. They left the Raiders in the game, and the Raiders took advantage of it. And good for them. They're not going away either. So now I guess are the Ravens I guess the Ravens are still at the top of the list of being in the hunt, right?
I mean, the whole league's in the hunt. That's exactly what they wanted when they added a playoff team. I think What, you got the Jets who are eliminated, you got the Lions who are eliminated, you got Jacksonville and Houston that are eliminated. I mean, past that, is anybody like truly eliminated from playoff?
Yeah, the Giants and Bears are eliminated.
Because I think I saw 26 teams were still.
There's not going to be a 7-10 team in the playoffs.
I mean, obviously, teams are going to get knocked off here as things start to unfold here over the last 3 weeks. But I mean, this is exactly what the NFL wanted.
I'll tell you what, from 48 yards out, that was a hell of a kick. That would have been good from 58 yards out. That guy is a stud.
Don 19. He's got the Eagles winning tomorrow. I hope, Don. I hope. But, I mean, it's all on Sirianni. Lights, camera, action, bro. Lights, camera, action. Have your boys ready. Do whatever. I don't care if the Eagles win by 1 point or 40 points. I don't care. You got to get a win.
They have to win that game.
Like, I don't care about style points. I don't care about anything. Like, if you look bad, it's like white man can't jump.
It's probably going to be a really ugly game tomorrow. Yeah, but you know what? I think the Eagles might do better in an ugly game.
Yeah, because they can run.
I think they're better at playing ugly football than the Washington football team is at playing ugly football. Just my opinion. I remember they've proven that they can run the football when they have to.
Remember the scene in White Man Can't Jump?
Right.
Where Billy Hoyle, he's talking to Wesley Snipes, and he goes, you know what your problem is, Sidney? You'd rather look good and lose than look bad and win. And I don't care tomorrow. I want to look bad and win. I'll take a look good and win. Certainly. But, Nick, you got to have the boys ready. Please. Because if the Eagles win on tomorrow, and I know I beat this drum before last time, and I looked like a total buffoon because the Eagles went up to the Meadowlands and looked like a bunch of jackasses and lost the game. But if you beat Washington, then you got the Giants.
Who have Fromm starting the game next week, by the way.
I think that's a better option than Mike Glennon because Mike Glennon
might be, in my opinion, Mike Glennon is the worst quarterback the Giants have had since the days of Scott Bruner.
I think Mike Glennon's the second worst quarterback I've ever seen play football in my life.
Scott Bruner to me was the worst quarterback.
I don't know who that is. What year was that?
That would be that was in the Sims era.
Okay, I don't know who that is. But
Sims got beat out by Bruner because Sims kept getting hurt, and you know Bill Parcells. Okay, you're not allowed to get hurt if you play for Bill Parcells. So Bill Parcells had to prove a point and let Bruner be the quarterback, and eventually Bruner was so bad, and then Sims got healthy, and Sims took the job, and from there on in, the Giants were pretty good. But that guy, I've never seen a quarterback so bad and make so many bad decisions.
There's one. I remember Brock Osweiler.
Oh, yeah, he was pretty bad.
He was the worst quarterback I've ever seen in my life. In the history of the NFL, the worst. Brock Osweiler. I think Mike Glennon is number 2.
Well, what about that one guy that threw 5 interceptions and a half for Buffalo?
Oh, Nate Peterman?
Yeah. That's might be worse.
Too.
Yeah, he might be worse. But Glennon is just about at that.
Like Glennon and Osweiler, they're just like, they look like goofs, Yeah. They're like tall.
I mean, in the Giants' defense yesterday, I thought they played pretty good football. They did what they had to do with their offense. Huh? Yeah, but they only got in the end zone twice. And they were on the damn field the entire game. Because this goofball Glennon kept throwing interceptions.
Yeah, Dan Orlovsky is Joe Montana compared to Mike Glennon and Brock Osweiler, Don. And I know you've had some piss-poor quarterback playing there in Chicago, so feel free to list anyone that's started for the Lions. I know they had Tim Boyle start a couple weeks ago, who I never even heard of. Couldn't even tell you a damn thing about him. But I'll take Tim Boyle and Dan Orlovsky over Mike Glennon and Brock Osweiler. And then Brock Osweiler, he was so bad, and he fooled the Texans or the Broncos. Someone gave him like an $85 million contract.
That was the Texans.
The Texans did that?
Yes.
Brutal.
Because he had one or two good games in Denver. I think I can't remember who got injured back then, but somebody got injured. Maybe it was Peyton Manning. I think maybe Peyton Manning got hurt, and they weren't sure if he was going to be able to come back. So Brock Osweiler started a couple of games, and then he left as a free agent. And boy, Houston paid him a ton of money, and he was incredibly bad.
Julio Figueroa, I think for the first 3 he will, but I'm nervous about Dallas game. You would expect Dallas to rest, but hey, let's beat him twice. Dallas might be playing for home field advantage. They may be playing for the singular bye in the NFC because a lot of things opened up in the NFC yesterday. A lot of things. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers get shut out at home on Sunday Night Football by the Saints, who aren't a very good football team. 9-0.
Yeah, but the other part is that they also lost a couple of really good players.
Godwin is gone.
Godwin's gone.
ACL.
He's gone. Fournette got hurt, and who was the other one?
Mike Evans. Mike Evans was hurt as well.
Yeah, they lost. But Evans will probably be back, and Fournette will probably be back. But that's a big loss, Godwin. That's a huge loss.
And then you have the Arizona Cardinals, who all of a sudden they have huge problems losing to you lose the double digits to the Lions. I don't care if it's on the road.
No, you can't lose. You can't lose that game. It's unheard of to lose like that. That was incredible that they got beat that badly.
Man, look at Gardner Minshew. He's checking us out on YouTube. Washington has no big play threats. Jump on them early, and that's a wrap. I totally disagree with that statement. Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry, is a big play waiting to happen
if he's
at
playing.
All times. He's a terrific receiver.
If he's playing. Yeah, don't know about that, but between him and Gibson, they're 2 players that could scare anybody. So I wouldn't be saying that they don't have guys who can win. They're awfully they've got a couple of guys on that team who can definitely score and can hurt you. And McKissick, if he's playing, he's another guy that can come out and he can hurt you as well.
Yeah, and Gibson can hurt you too if he doesn't fumble the ball. Dan Shyrock, he's in the house. What's up, guys? Let's hope no one goes into protocol by tomorrow.
Oh God.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Eagles aren't going to have Landon Dickerson tomorrow. He's in protocol. Andre Dillard, their backup left tackle, he's in protocol. So, but Brad, what do you do if the Eagles get a bunch of tests back tomorrow and that they're all positive? What do you do then?
I already told you what they should do. But
yeah, week 19, and I totally agree with that. But
look, if that happens and it gets to a point where they can't field the team, they're not going to forfeit the game. They've already shown you that they're not going to forfeit the game. They'll figure something out.
Why do I feel like that if the Eagles' entire offensive line and a bunch of other guys test positive for COVID tomorrow morning, the NFL is going to throw up their hands and make the Eagles go out there and play? Why do I feel like that?
It depends if they can field the team. If they can't field the team, okay, they're not going to let them play if they only have like 22, 23 guys. They can't field the team. You can't do that. So we'll see. Hopefully that's not going to happen. Hopefully it won't come down to that.
Joel, Don 19, I think Joel is injured. He's walking slow. I didn't even realize the Sixers were on tonight. That's how little interest I have in the Philadelphia 76ers. Call me when they trade Ben Simmons. I'll evaluate the trade package that they get for Ben Simmons, and then I will spew my venom for the process all over again. I can't stand the Sixers. They sicken to me. It sickens me to my core to watch that basketball team.
Well,
it really does.
Right now, the NBA is in havoc right now because there's so many guys that aren't being able to play because of the COVID thing. I mean, there's so many of them in protocol right now. How many did they say? The last count, what did they say? 48?
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's beyond belief. So also for an update, believe it or not, Kyrie Irving the Nets are now going to let him play road games.
See, now this is where you pounce if you're Daryl Morey. Hello, Brooklyn. Hello, Brooklyn. We have Ben Simmons. We can't stand him. We hate him. We want to get him out. You have Kyrie Irving. You can't stand him. You want to get him out.
No, he's
Let's
playing
do a trade. Let's do a trade. Like, hello, Daryl. Daryl, hello.
They're not going to trade him now because Durant and Harden are both in COVID protocol. So
what does that matter? You bring in Ben Simmons, and Ben Simmons doesn't even have to play offense at all with those two guys.
No, I understand that, and he would be, and defensively he would make a big difference. But who are the Nets going to give you? Oh, Irving. Okay, well,
Kyrie.
Yeah, I guess
Easiest trade in the history of trades.
Yeah, well, no, we've talked about that trade before, but now that he's playing, I don't know. I who knows? Maybe they will. Maybe they will. I mean, it would make sense for both teams. The Sixers need a little additional scoring, and the Nets could use a guy who can really lock. They need a lockdown defender on the perimeter, so that would make sense.
Troy H, please no F Kyrie. Okay, fuck Kyrie, but I don't want to hear Troy H complain about Ben Simmons being the biggest pussy in the history of pussies. Then can't have it both ways. You gotta get Ben Simmons out.
You're not going to
get people in here.
If you think you're going to get a big time player for Ben Simmons, when basically the Sixers are being held hostage by this guy, it's not going to happen. Every team in the NBA knows that they have to get rid of him. Why would they be giving up a huge package? Nobody is just going to give up their entire team just to get this guy. It's not gonna happen. If you're able, first of all, you have to take the money. You have to find a guy who's going to make money, because in the NBA they don't allow salary dumps. So
that's why if you don't trade for a disgruntled superstar like Kyrie Irving, you're gonna find a third team.
Yeah, you're gonna have a disgruntled player involved in this whole situation.
See, Troy, you can't say fuck them both. If you want Ben Simmons out of here, you're gonna have to. It's to the point now where you're gonna have to take a headache like Kyrie Irving. You're not getting Bradley Beal for Ben Simmons. Get that out of your head.
No,
it ain't happening.
That's not gonna happen.
Like Dame Lillard isn't. He wants to die on his hill because Dame Lillard's stubborn, and he's being a moron because he wants all these superstars to come form a super team in Portland, and guys don't want to go to Portland.
Have they actually had enough cap space, Portland, to ever do something like that?
Shift things around, and guys like you could make it work.
I mean, I guess you could.
I don't know if the money would work, but I drew up a 3-team trade on my lunch break today. It wasn't today. It was about a week ago.
Okay, let's hear it.
But it's sort of like it's not serious, but it would be contingent on Damian Lillard, like waiving his no trade clause. Like they want to play with each other. Ben and Dame want to play with each other. Let's get those two in New York on the Knicks. Let's get Tobias Harris. Let's get Tobias Harris and Julius Randle out to Portland. And let's get CJ McCollum and RJ Barrett to Philly.
I mean, money does that work?
Money won't work because everyone's been paid in that deal except RJ Barrett. So maybe the Sixers take back Covington in that deal. Yeah, but it's a moot point because Dame Lillard wants everyone to come to Portland to play with him, and ain't no one playing in Portland with you, buddy. If you want to go win and you want to not be on a trash team that can't play defense and get out of the first round, you have to waive your no trade clause. So I think you send Ben, and Ben will be happy in New York. He gets the glitz and the glamour, plays in the Garden. Spike Lee will kiss his ass. He'll like that.
I don't know about that. I don't know. Jesus. You think the Philadelphia fans can be rough? New York fans would be.
Brad, if the Knicks landed Dame Lillard and Ben Simmons, the Garden would be popping.
Dame Lillard, yes, but Simmons, I don't know if they're going to be. I mean, he starts turning away jump shots and doing that kind of stupid stuff. They'll be on him there too.
Yeah, but he'll have Dame to do all that. He'll have Dame Dame will do that.
Yeah, but if you're wanting them to get rid of Randall and which I wouldn't have a problem with that. With
you got to give the get, and the money's got to match.
Yeah, exactly, and I get that.
I'm so sick of Tobias Harris. Tobias wants to say in his press conference, you guys just don't understand. Like, we understand fine, buddy. We understand fine. You're the 13th highest paid player in the NBA according to average annual salary, and you stink, cuz you absolutely fucking stink. So we understand fine. Tobias doesn't understand fine because he's got to put more baskets in the hoop. So we understand fine. Tobias doesn't understand. So I don't want to hear it. I understand you were sick and you had COVID and the whole thing. Okay? But sooner or later, you're going to start putting it, like, right there. Right there. It just happened. I have the game on. First thing I look at, Tobias is at the hoop. He can't finish. $180 million, slam that down and get an M1. So we understand fine. Okay? $180 million, you finish. You get me an M1 right there. Now he's on the floor hurt. So is that more stuff we don't understand? So I'm sick of Tobias Harris, so you can ship him out. No problem. And if I have to take it back a guy like Robert Covington, sure.
You may have to take a guy like Evan Fournier to make it work.
Sure.
Because he's making $18 million.
I mean, I'm
just thinking about the Knicks roster right now. People who are making some money, the guys who are making money.
We got Portland too. It's a 3-team deal, so I don't know who's making money over there. But I would need a 4 somehow in Philadelphia because I'm trading Tobias and I'm not getting Randall and I'm adding 2 perimeter guys. So then my trade,
I don't think you'd be getting Randall. I don't think the Knicks would trade Randall. Honestly,
it's just a fun little thing. Like it's just a fun trade that I thought up.
It would be pretty cool if something like that happened. It would definitely change things around a little bit.
I mean, it would bring excitement to the Garden because you would have 2 stars on the perimeter in Ben and Dame. And Portland, no one really cares about Portland. So you send $180 million to Tobias.
I think Ben would end up being a small forward. Would play small forward because he can handle the ball a little bit, and that I think that's what would end up happening.
Yeah, and I think Ben would buy into that if he was playing with Dame because they want to play with each other.
Because I think the Knicks want to get Quickly in there, and I think the Knicks want Quickly to be a starter because it sure seems like they're playing him a lot more these days. Knicks are having.
I told you right when they drafted him. I told you right at the end of that first round. Maxey for the Sixers, Quickly for the Knicks. Studs.
Yeah, nice players.
Great picks. So with my fake trade that we're discussing, for those of you just tuning in to end this Ben Simmons saga that just is just frustrating and nauseating. So it's Ben Simmons and Dame Lillard to the Knicks. It's Julius Randle and CJ and I'm sorry, I can't even keep track of it.
Julius Randle and
Tobias Harris and Julius Randle to Portland, and then you get Barrett and McCollum to Philadelphia. So then you go small if you're Philly. You start Maxey, you start Barrett, and you start McCollum. 2 really good defenders in Barrett and McCollum can make up for what Maxey can't give you as of right now. Defensively in his career. Maybe you start maybe McCollum's your point guard and you start, I don't know, but that's Ben Simmons out of there. The Garden's popping. Tobias Harris can go rot in Portland because he stinks. They can take that money and they can deal with him in Portland because he stinks and I'm sick of him. And I get a guy I really like in CJ McCollum, and I get a really good young player in Barrett.
Well, I mean,
that's it. Done.
The only team that could throw a wedge in that might be Portland because I don't know if they'd be too happy trading McCollum and Dame for basically Randall and I don't know. I mean that's I don't think we can do that.
Or Brad, you can just call up Brooklyn, and I know it sucks that you got to bite the bullet and trade with someone in your division, and you make that. Brooklyn.
Well, that would be
really good.
That would be a trade that makes sense because the money would work.
Yeah, so I'm making sense all the way around. All the way around.
And
the only one who doesn't seem to get it is Daryl Morey.
Well, I mean, at this point, Brooklyn is also allowing Irving to play road games. So, I would think that they probably would have him play a few games and get himself in game shape. And then you might see that trade. I don't think anybody would want to make a trade like that now because he needs to get in game shape. Then again, so does Simmons. So, I don't know. We'll see. We've been talking about that since the beginning of the season. I think you and I were the first ones who mentioned that.
That Troy H. attached picks with Ben at this point. I don't care. I mean, cool. Don 19, would you do Levert and Brogdon? Yeah. Get this guy out of here.
You can never do it. You can never do it. That's not.
The Sixers are at a crossroads at this saga. Either they got to trade them and take what they can get and get reinforcements in here because this basketball team is 15-15, and they don't look very good. Okay,
that's true.
They don't look like anywhere resembling a contending basketball team right now. Or you got to bend over, kiss Ben Simmons' ass, and get him to play.
Well, if he refuses to play, are you guys paying him?
I don't know. We were fining him, and then they were freaking out because he got fined, and then I don't know what's happening right now. I haven't heard any news about him getting fined.
If he refuses to play, then they don't have to pay him.
And Bryce, you're preaching to the choir about Doc Rivers. He stinks, and you're preaching to the choir about Sixers management. I call him Morey the moron because he failed to read the room in the offseason, and now we're in the position we are right now because Daryl Morey is just he's brain dead, absolutely brain dead that this guy is still here. Sixers could have Ingram, Murray, or Tatum, but instead drafted Simmons, which shows how bad this talent scouts are. Well, the talent scouts aren't really the problem there, Bryce, because Ben Simmons, he has a skill set. He's a very talented player. He has flaws, yes. He's not a superstar, no. But he's a star. He's the best passer in the league. He's the best defender in the league. He can push pace, and he can make his teammates better.
He just can't shoot.
He can't shoot. He's unwilling to shoot. I don't know if he can shoot or not. He won't shoot. He's taken 2 threes in his career, Brad. He's squished them both. So, I don't know.
I mean, listen, then you have to – if you have a guy like him on your team, it works if you have the right team.
Don 19.
I think
Tommy disagrees with the poll. I would be interested to hear what Tommy's X factor would be if it's not Nick Sirianni. But, I need Nick Sirianni to grab this team by the balls and get me a win tomorrow. He's got to have this team ready.
But if
coming out flat and losing this football game is not an option.
If not Sirianni, then definitely Hurts.
But I need Sirianni to put Hurts in positions to win. I can't have Hurts go out there and throw the ball 40 times. That's on Sirianni. They go out and throw the ball 40 times tomorrow against the Washington football team, and Hurts stinks. That's on Sirianni, not Hurts, because Hurts isn't capable of throwing the ball 40 times.
If Hurts has to throw the ball 40 times, they're absolutely going to lose.
I completely 1,000% agree with that statement.
So I don't think that's going to happen. I see Hurts tomorrow probably throwing the ball between 20 and 25 times. I could see maybe 16 for 25, 220 yards, maybe run for 60 or 70 more. You get something like that, you're going to win the game. I think that's kind of what you want. You don't want to see him throwing more than 25 times. You want to see him running for about 70 yards, and you'd like to see about over 200 yards of passing yardage. You get that, I think you're gold.
Lawrence Hayward, is that Doug?
The Eagles will run the football. They run the football against everybody, so.
I hope so. Lawrence Hayward, he's checking us out on YouTube. Is that Doug Peterson's better-looking bro on the right? You do kind of look like – you just need a Vita. You do kind of look like Doug Peterson. A little bit.
I should be so lucky.
Brad, by the way, Doug Peterson, rumor mill is churning that he might be a candidate for the Jacksonville Jaguars head coaching position.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Giants. I was going to say, please.
No, I don't think that's a good fit.
No. Well, first of all, the new GM will choose the new coach. However, if it's Abrams, if the Giants promote Abrams and make him the GM, I'm done with that. I will not be watching another game. Yeah, I'm serious. I am not going to. I will not be paying attention to them. I will not watch them. They can suck a. You know what? They can suck a big hot dog because that would be terrible if they do something.
Well, I mean, to suck a big hot dog, you'll have to go to the concession stands and pay for it because you only get a free medium soda if you're a Giants season ticket holder.
Oh no, only if your name is on the account.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you pay for four, if you pay for 4 seats, you only get one soda.
If you're the one who paid for the 4 seats, you get the soda.
Yeah, so one soda. Yeah, it's not 4 sodas for each seat.
No.
So you have to spring for the $8, $10, $12 hot dog if you want to suck on a hot dog. But I do think
probably like $12. From what I've heard, their prices are worse than the Yankees' prices. So,
but I do think Doug Peterson.
At least the Yankees give you a good product, though. Unlike the Giants.
Correct. The Giants have won 5 games in the last 2 years.
4. They've won 4 this year. They won 6 last year. So yeah, they're averaging
10.
5.
Average of 5 per, and
that's about right.
It's what, $8,000? $8,000 for like the lowest season ticket package, probably more.
I mean, I don't know that I don't know. You know,
you'd be better off doing nothing. Like you would catch less heat for doing nothing than just insulting your season ticket holders who have watched slop over the last 2 years under Joe Judge and Gettleman.
2 years?
Slop.
2 years?
Whatever. When's the last time?
Try 4 with Gettleman and the last 2 with McAdope. So I mean,
my God, that guy.
McAdope was terrible. McAdope was good his first year because he still had Coughlin's players on his team.
Gardner Minshew, the Eagles did Doug dirty. I think Doug would be an ideal hire for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Because look at the Jaguars, Brad. What do they need? They need culture and stability and a leader of men. Doug's fantastic at those things.
Well, Doug also likes to throw, so Lawrence will love playing for him.
And I think that's a good fit for a young player with Trevor Lawrence as well.
I think Doug is one of those coaches who's basically a short-term kind of coach anyway, though. You know what I'm saying? Like he's one of those short shelf life type coaches. I think you get a lot from him first couple of years, and then it just goes straight downhill.
Well, I mean, players, coaches, they just don't last long.
Football coaches in particular don't seem to last long.
I mean, Andy Reid has lasted forever, and he's regarded as a player's coach. So I guess he's the exception to the rule. But Bill Belichick, Bill Parcells, Landry, Mike Tomlin,
Andy Reid's a little. Andy Reid is kind of special. Is a special kind of coach, though. You know, I mean, he's such a father figure to these guys. I think that they all want to run through a brick wall for him. So,
I mean, it doesn't help that he picked McNabb, and then he went to Kansas City and he picked Mahomes, and he built.
But give him credit for that.
Yeah, no, that's all on him. He drafted those guys. He traded a lot of draft capital for Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and you know what? It was worth every penny.
And there was a lot of slop in the 1999 draft outside of Donovan McNabb. Tim Couch was 90. No, I forget.
Tim was 99.
Tim Couch was 99. Culpepper was 99. Achilles Smith was 99. Sean King was 99. So it was regarded as a really good quarterback draft.
Culpepper, to be fair, was really good, and then he hurt his knee. Or was it his hip? I can't remember.
But that's a factor, you know?
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, though. I mean, Culpepper was pretty good. I wouldn't put him in the same class as some of those guys who were Achilles Smith was the real big disappointment because he had the big headlines.
And I think Tim Couch had talent, but he was in Cleveland in an expansion team.
Yeah, Tim Couch, it just didn't work out. By the way, if anybody's watching, the Vikings are now on the Bear 17.
Vikings are on the move. Brad, I need 33 points from Justin Jefferson, Van Jefferson, and Miles Sanders to go to the fantasy playoff semifinals. I know Justin Jefferson already has at least one catch. I'm half paying attention here.
I would think that should be. You should get that. That shouldn't be. That shouldn't.
You would
be
think, but I never win these.
Well, if Jefferson gets a touchdown tonight, I mean, I would think Jefferson should be at least good for between 12 and 15 points tonight.
He has 1 target, 1 catch for 18 yards.
Okay, but he'll probably get a touchdown pass. I mean, aren't the Bears missing their entire secondary?
Correct.
All right, so I mean, he's going to get something.
Correct.
That's for sure.
And let's look at the playoff pictures.
Okay.
Oh boy.
I think I've memorized them since I've seen those things so many times now.
Well, I haven't seen an updated one yet. So I know the Bengals got a big win yesterday. That's a
big win for them.
I think that's a signature win on the road for a young quarterback, a young team, and a young coach. And Brad, I think the Bengals are the best team in the AFC North. I really do. They had a banged up offensive line yesterday. Denver's a hard place to play, and they went in there and they got it done.
Don't forget though what happened yesterday with Bridgewater was probably a major factor in that too.
They had
to have Locke in there. So I mean,
is that my boy? Yes, sir. Let's go. Semifinal bound. Let's go.
See, I told you get at least 1 touchdown.
There you go. Johnny on the spot. Brad Ryer. Love it.
Between 12 and 17 points, Rob.
Well, that's like a 10-point play right there.
Well, 6 for the touchdown, 1 for the
one for the
catch, and it was an 18-yard pass, right? So that's 2. 6-1 and 2 is 6-1 and 7-9. So yeah.
There you go. Let's go.
So you already had close to 2 points before, so and he's going to get more than 1 touchdown, Rob.
Gardner Minshew, yeah, hopefully he just gets the 33, so I don't even have to worry about it.
Yeah, the Bears are really. I'll tell you what. Now, I mean, not that it matters, but the Giants do have the Bears' first round pick. They're going to end up with the 5 and the 6 this year. So
that's a big deal. The Bears aren't good.
The Bears are.
And the Giants aren't good.
Right, but the Giants are going to have the Bears' first round pick. For letting them pick Fields last year.
That's good. You got to get a GM that
they're going to get. I figured maybe between 10 and 15.
No, you're going to have 2 in the top 10 probably.
Yeah, I think they're going to end up having 2. They're going to have 5 and 6 from what they said last week. If neither one of those teams win another game, right now they're the 5th pick in the draft and the 6th pick in the draft. So I mean, hopefully, whoever they get as a general manager, as long as it's not Abrams, I like to see what they do.
Now, do you think the Giants?
I don't think they're going to draft a quarterback.
What are you going to do? Because this Daniel Jones neck injury seems fairly serious.
Oh, I think Daniel Jones is done, but I think the Giants will go out and bring somebody in. We'll bring in somebody next year, a veteran to play for 1 year, and then they'll go out and we'll try to get a quarterback the following season. I think next year is going to be about trying to rebuild the trenches, which is something Dave Gettleman just didn't do.
It's like the Eagles with the receivers.
Yeah, I mean
they just keep going back to the well and they just keep missing.
Dave Gettleman kept missing with the offensive line. He only got 1 decent offensive lineman in the entire time he was here, and that's Thomas, who finally is starting to look good. But I mean, all the mistakes he made, especially Nate Solder, $64 million for 4 years. Thankfully, he's done after this year, so I mean that you'll be able to get rid of him. So that's a addition by subtraction there. But it's they've got a heavy rebuilding job. If I were them, I would get the 2 best linemen, whether it's a defensive lineman or offensive lineman, available at 5 and 6.
We'll look at a map. I'll humor you with a mock draft. We'll look at a mock draft after we do the playoff. After we do the teams that matter, though.
Yeah, well, we have to wait and see where exactly they pick.
I read CBS's mock draft every week to stay informed.
So they should, if things continue to go the way they're going,
And by the way, the Eagles, after the Colts, well, how about the Colts on Saturday night? They just
How about
ran right
Taylor?
over the Patriots.
How about Taylor? Is he unbelievable, that guy?
Unreal.
He-
But the key aspect of that for Philadelphia is Carson Wentz played all the snaps, and the Eagles have officially, no doubt about it, clinched having the Colts first-round pick. So the Eagles officially have 3 first-round picks now.
By the way, did you happen to notice how many completions Wentz had?
He went 5 for 12 for 72 yards or something like that.
Yeah, something along those lines. Although, I mean, in all fairness, though, they threw out Pittman, and that was a joke.
Yeah, but I mean, what's more important? Like, it's like white man can't jump. I'll say it again. Would you rather look good and lose, or win ugly?
Listen, if you have Jonathan Taylor, what's the difference?
They couldn't stop him.
It's like with Adrian Peterson when he was in his prime. Just give him the damn ball every play, and until he's tired and needs a rest, and then you can throw the ball. But that guy Taylor, he's unbelievable. And how about the Colts? I mean, they allow the Patriots to get back into the game, and to run out the clock. They give the ball to him, and then he breaks one for 70, 80 yards, something like that.
He does that a lot.
Yeah, I know, but when the game's on the line and it's third down and the whole stadium knows you're running the football, and he goes and runs it for 70 or 80 yards, that's unbelievable.
Matthew Walsh, Howie acts like he's the smartest person in the room, but the only person that he outsmarts is himself. Passing on Justin Jefferson for Jalen Reagor should have been a fireable offense. Look, Matt, I hear you. I'm over it. They picked Reagor. Jefferson's on the Vikings. Justin Jefferson will never be on the Eagles, and I'm just moving on with it. I'm over it. I'm not over it, but I'm over it. Like I can scream till I'm blue in the face, and you scream till you're blue in the face about how I getting fired. He ain't getting fired. Jeffrey Lurie's not selling the team. We got what we got. We got Reagor. We don't have Jefferson, and that's that.
Yeah, hopefully Smith develops into a top receiver. He's got ability, and you'll see what happens. And who knows? You might draft a really good receiver in the draft this year. You've got enough.
Bryce Blackwell points out that Jonathan Taylor came from the Big Ten.
Well, the Big Ten running back wise has never been a problem. It just seems like some of the
anything Big Ten, SEC, Clemson, Notre Dame. That's where you get your guys from.
Pretty much.
Because Notre Dame under Brian Kelly, I know he's at LSU now. He goes to the SEC, but they always have a top 5 recruiting class, and they're always in contention for the playoff, and they always play a big-time schedule. And they're right up there in terms of producing pro talent with the SEC, Clemson, and the Big Ten.
Yeah,
and there's the Bears.
There's a fumble by the Bears, and now the Vikings.
So the Bears you're gonna get your draft capital improved.
Yeah, it looks like they'll continue.
ACC's got players though. I mean, okay, I'll take my chances with Clemson guys from the ACC. But other than that, I got SEC, I got Big Ten.
Some of the Oklahoma guys are pretty good.
Colin Foley, I just don't know when Lurie is going to give up on Howie. Never. Howie Roseman's not going anywhere. Jeffrey Lurie's not going anywhere. Justin Jefferson is not on the Eagles. Jalen Reagor is on the Eagles for now.
And by the way, the guy on Seattle is not on the Eagles either.
DK Metcalf is not on the Eagles.
Yeah,
JJ Arcega-Whiteside is on the Eagles. It's just you just got to get over it and move on and hope they can get it right sooner or later.
Yeah, just like we have to get over the fact that Justin Herbert is not on the Giants.
Right.
So
you drive yourself nuts.
If we could have traded up 2 or 3 spots, we could have gotten Justin Herbert. But,
like the Eagles with CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb's on the Cowboys, not on the Eagles.
Listen, you can bitch and moan all you want. It's not going to help. It's if it makes you feel better to think that, that's fine. But it's not gonna change anything. You just hope that going forward, these mistakes are not repeated.
So you got the AFC East, Brad, and that's coming down to the wire.
Yeah, I think Buffalo is going to go into New England next week, and they are going to beat them.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think bye week
Buffalo got so screwed when they played New England a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Because that was a 50-mile-an-hour wind blowing across the field, which meant that nobody could run the ball, could throw the ball. Let's be honest, okay? If you think Mac Jones is a better quarterback than Josh Allen, then you need to have some brain waves sent your way.
That and Brad, I think that
you need electric shock therapy if you think that Mac Jones is a better quarterback than Josh Allen. Josh Allen couldn't throw in that weather. Nobody could. Mac Jones threw 3 times. So Buffalo is not a great running team, but they are a pretty damn good passing team.
I agree with you.
And one thing about Buffalo, when they get to the red zone, they score touchdowns. I mean, I think yesterday they got to the red zone 4 times against Carolina, because I was actually watching a lot of that game because I was so disgusted with the Giants. And Carolina lost their field goal kicker before the game started.
Right, he got hurt. Yeah, I saw that.
Which is unbelievable for that to happen. But in any event, when Buffalo actually moved the ball and they went on drives, every time they got to the red zone, they got a touchdown. And that tells you something. When they get to the red zone, Josh Allen's legs and that strong arm of his can hit a target or get to the end zone whenever they need to. I think they're number 1 in the league in scoring touchdowns in the red zone. So as far as that, it's either that or goal to go. I can't remember, but they had a stat yesterday on TV about that, and that's something that makes them very dangerous. And I think with New England has beaten a lot of tomato cans. Let's be honest. Who have they really beaten that was good? They beat Buffalo, I know that, but again, you took Buffalo's bread and butter away from them. They had to do something that they don't do well, and they lost. I think if the weather is reasonable and there's not another 60-mile-an-hour wind, I think Buffalo wins the game.
And then you have Miami, who started the season 1-7. They're 7-7 now. They're 2 games back of New England. They're 1 game back of Buffalo. They're right in this thing too. They might not win the East.
With the Dolphins?
Yeah.
The Dolphins. I got to tell you something. The Miami Dolphins, what they have been able to do this year, I think that's freaking amazing. If you think about it, they were 1-7,
6 in a row.
But I can understand 6 in a row, Rob. But they were 1-7,
dead in the water.
Yeah, I mean, we were making fun of them as being as bad as the Jets. 1-7, and now you're 7-7.
Yeah, I mean, we were all salivating here in Philadelphia because we have the Dolphins pick. They were 1-7, and the Colts and Carson Wentz, they were sputtering, and the Eagles were sputtering, and we're like, whoa, we're gonna have 3 in the top 10, maybe. Like, it's gonna change your franchise real quick. Now we're gonna have 3 picks in the late 20s, maybe. So,
we'll see.
It can all change really quick here in the NFL.
It can. But that is you have to give that Miami Dolphin coaching staff a lot of credit to be able to keep the guys together when they're 1-7, and now all of a sudden they're 7-7. Even if they don't make the playoffs, you know what? The fans are getting their fans are getting a nice what do you call it? A nice scream for their.
You got to think that Brian Flores is one of the front runners for Coach of the Year.
Yeah, because what's happened in that situation is just remarkable. I mean, that's an incredible job by them to be able to come back like that, and now they've made the season interesting. And also, the other thing is to develop Tua. I mean, don't forget that. That's just one more aspect of this thing. So now Tua is getting closer and closer to becoming a franchise quarterback.
So Brad, remember, and Tua's been great. And I'm just going to transition a little bit to some other teams before we get into a mock draft and a little more live reactions, and then we'll wrap it up because the flight zone's coming up. about a half hour here on A2D Radio. But remember when the Chiefs were struggling and people like me were on here saying that they weren't a good football team? Guess who's the number 1 seed in the AFC right now?
Yeah. Listen,
No, we're fine.
With that kind of talent, okay, it was just a question of Andy getting them under control and playing well again. I still don't think we've seen the best of Mahomes this year. Believe it or not, there's still room for improvement there. So that's
the Patriots are the 2 seed, but I don't think that they're going to win the AFC East. I totally agree with you.
Yeah, I think Buffalo finds it. And if Buffalo does beat the Patriots, they're going to win the division because I think the rest of their schedule is the Jets, and I can't remember who the other team was, but it was somebody.
The Patriots. I have it all right here. It's the Bills.
Buffalo's schedule after the Patriots is ridiculously easy. I think they got.
I have all the remaining 3 games. So the Patriots are the 2 seed in the AFC. They got Bills left, they got Jaguars left, and they got Dolphins left.
The Dolphins in Miami are not easy. They're going to have
Dolphins. The Dolphins. They've won 7 in a row. We just talked about it. Nothing's going to be easy against the Dolphins.
And the Dolphins also own New England in Miami. Dolphins
make the play. I'll say it right here. Dolphins make the playoffs.
Dolphins have already beaten the Patriots this year.
Is that right?
Yeah, they beat them the first game. Remember?
So they won. So they won a game. Then they lost 7, and now they've won 6.
Right.
Crazy.
Yep.
Number 3 seeds the Tennessee Titans. Brad, I have serious doubts that Tennessee.
Unfortunately, without Derrick Henry, that's too big a loss. I mean, that losing him.
I mean, they have enough capital built up where I think they're going to make the playoffs. They have a 97% according to FPI to make the playoffs.
Yeah,
I don't think
they'll make it as a wild card. I mean, the way the Colts are playing right now, the Colts are on fire.
And then you got the Bengals. The Bengals round out the division winner.
The Bengals have the Ravens next week, right?
The Bengals have a gauntlet. They're 8-6 right now. FPI has them at a 49% chance to make the playoffs, a 38% chance to win the division. Their remaining games are home against the Ravens, home against the Chiefs, at the Browns. So that's not going to be easy at all.
No.
The Colts are the 5 seed, but I think they're going to jump into the top 4 because I think they're going to win the AFC South.
And whom are they playing?
They got the Cardinals on Christmas night. Look at Matt Nagy. What a douche. He just got a 15-yard penalty for running on the field to argue with the officials. Great. What does that do? You just gave Minnesota a good offense.
You just put the ball on the 12-yard line. And oh, boy, that was intended for your boy.
No, I think that was a tight end.
Oh, was it?
That was a tight end.
Okay, well, the next time they'll throw it to your guy.
He's a joke. Nagy, they can't get rid of him fast enough.
Well, the ball was knocked down. I mean, it's not like he dropped it.
And then you got Los Angeles as the 6th seed, the Chargers, that is. I think they're going to make the playoffs. Herbert's just too good. You got the Texans next week. They're going to smoke them. Broncos and Raiders, 2 division games. I think they'll go 2-1.
They'll win those 2 games, too. Chargers are in.
And you got Buffalo, who I think is going to make the playoffs, at Patriots, Falcons, Jets. So that's at least 2-1.
Oh, geez. That's definitely that's what I was saying. They have an easy schedule to end.
So then even Baltimore, Pittsburgh.
Even if the Bills lose to the Patriots, they'll win the last 2 and sneak in. I mean, if they win 10 games, I can't imagine they're not going to be in.
And then you have the NFC. It's a little more clear-cut in the NFC.
Well, you've got 5 teams that are going to make the playoffs. Actually, you have 6 teams that are probably going to make the playoffs unless something bizarre happens. I mean, the 49ers, I think, yesterday stamped their ticket.
I agree with you.
They really look good yesterday.
Green Bay's clinched. They've clinched the South or the NFC North with their win yesterday over the Ravens.
The Cowboys are going to make the playoffs, obviously.
Only a matter of time before the Cowboys clinch the East.
Yeah, they're going to win the division. Tampa Bay, in spite of the injuries, they're still going to win the division. I mean, New Orleans isn't going to catch.
And then you're going to have a race for 4th, 10-4, Arizona, and then you would assume the Rams.
I think Arizona. I think the Rams are going to end up.
What's the line on that game? What's the line on that game tomorrow? I think the Rams are going to absolutely destroy the
The Seahawks, yeah, I think so. I think the Rams are going to start playing like. I think that game was the focal point. That game against the Cardinals. I think.
Yeah, they got their mojo back a little bit.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. 7-point line. I'll lay 7 tomorrow. Is that in LA or is that in Seattle?
No, it's in LA.
I thought it was in Seattle. Yeah, I'll lay 7 all day.
7 all day in LA. In Seattle, maybe not, but in LA, yeah, I think I'd lay 7.
And then I totally agree with you. The Niners have stamped their ticket. Jimmy G's underrated. He's a professional quarterback. I understand he's not Patrick Mahomes, but all the criticism he got in the offseason, I mean, this guy's led a team to a Super Bowl before.
Do you know who he really is? Maybe he's not the same kind of quarterback, but you know who he is? He's Alex Smith, Rob. He's a quarterback that he's not going to cost you games. He's not going to lose games for you. He won't win games for you, but he's not going to lose games for you either. Okay? He can if you give him some talent around, then he's going to win games. I mean, they got a lot of guys who can run the ball. San Francisco is deep as hell when it comes to the running back position. No matter Deebo Samuel is outstanding receiver.
He's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and they just beat the snot out of Atlanta. Now, I know Atlanta's not a good team, but I mean, they just beat the snot out of them. They basically got the ball yesterday, and the Falcons didn't touch the ball just about the whole game.
Don 19. What's going on with Matt Nagy? Matt Nagy stinks.
Matt Nagy
stinks. His defense got him off the hook there, and they didn't let the Vikings in. So good for them.
Yeah, but
you should give everyone a high five after that.
But now they're down 2 scores.
Gardner Minshew, Jimmy G is better than Alex Smith. I mean, he might be. Might be.
Boy, I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
Look, Alex Smith's done. Like,
yeah,
his
no,
yeah.
But Alex, I'm talking about it throughout his career. Alex Smith was pretty good.
He was.
He was pretty good. He just, he wasn't a Super Bowl type quarterback. He wasn't a franchise. He was your classic game manager. Didn't make a lot of mistakes.
He was like right on the line of like being a franchise quarterback and a game manager. He was like the best kind of game manager you can have.
Yeah, I think that's where Jimmy G is. Jimmy G is a winning quarterback.
I wouldn't want to play if I'm the Cowboys or I'm the Buccaneers now that they're all banged up, or the Cardinals or the Rams. I don't want to play the Niners at all.
No, especially in the playoffs, because you know what? They're so physical. They're so physical. If you get past them, you're going to get beat up. Because they just play a real tough game. So.
And then right now, Brad, the 7 seed, as of right now, obviously 2 big games tomorrow night in terms of the AFC landscape. It's the NFC landscape, and we got a big one going on right now. The Saints, after their big 9-0 win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, when's the last time Tom Brady got shut out?
2005.
So it actually has happened before?
Yeah, twice.
2005. That was 15 years between shutouts.
Yeah.
So they're the 7 seed right now. They got the Dolphins, they got the Panthers, and the Falcons.
Worst case scenario, 2-1.
But I mean, either the Eagles or the Washington football team is going to be 7-7. I would assume that the Vikings are going to be 7-7.
Here's the problem. I know the Eagles beat them head to head. However, if there's a 3-way tie, then it goes to the division record.
Yeah, so the Eagles got to win tomorrow.
Yeah, they really that Giant game really hurt them.
Big time.
Because they.
All right, let's glance at a mock draft for your New York Giants here. I'll throw you a bone. We'll talk about some Giants a little bit.
We need an offense. We need either an offense.
Today's date.
Today is the 20th, I believe.
So this was from December 15th. That's recent enough. And look, we got 3 guys here. They're going to have the 5th and so this guy, this one jabroni has. So you have the 5th and the 6th pick in these mock drafts.
Right.
One guy has a mock trade, which is just a jabroni thing to do. Ryan Wilson, like, no thanks. So we'll look at Chris Chaprazzo and Josh Edwards. So 5th and 6th, he has the Giants taking Matt Corral, quarterback out of Ole Miss, and Charles Cross, an offensive lineman out of Mississippi State.
They're not taking a quarterback. Okay, and there's no way they're gonna. I'm gonna tell you right now what's gonna happen. Okay, they're either gonna pick up a guy like Nick Foles, or they're gonna pick up a guy like Andy Dalton, and they're gonna roll with them for 1 year, and they're gonna try to get themselves a real good pass rusher and a real good offensive lineman.
That's what this guy, and I
They
like
need a
Josh
left-
Edwards.
They need a left tackle in the worst way. They'll get a left tackle. That's what's going to happen. Plain and simple.
This guy has him taking George Karlaftis, defensive end out of Purdue, with 5th, and Tyler Linderbaum, an offensive lineman out of Iowa. So go Big Ten trenches. That seems like
you mean of Ohio State?
What's that?
You mean Ohio State, right? Not Ohio.
No. Purdue and Iowa.
Oh, okay. Oh, Iowa. I thought you said
Iowa. Yeah.
Iowa. I was like,
So
no.
two Big Ten
that was
guys in the
silly.
trenches there.
Yeah, that is what they need to do. Don't start with quarterbacks. If you pick a receiver, I'll freaking jump out of my window right now. I don't
You
want
have 8 receivers and no offensive linemen. That would be bad.
Yeah, no, go get yourself. If they do that, if they do something like that, I'm happy. That would make me happy. Okay, good. That's what you need to do. And they'll have a very high pick in the 2nd round too. So, that would be good. And if they cut the right guys, which I'm sure you're going to see a lot of guys getting cut, maybe they can try to fill out an offensive line and get themselves a pass rush. Again, we don't know about Daniel Jones. We don't know if he's going to play next year, but it's too early to tell whether that's the case. I would not waste a draft pick trying to get a quarterback. Not next year. As I said, get a stopgap guy. I mean, listen, if you could get the Ravens to trade their backup quarterback to New York, I'd be happy with that. That guy looks to me like he's got some talent. I like him.
Look at my boy on Monday Night Football, Justin Fields. 2 of my boys, Justin Fields and Justin Jefferson. Maybe we should just draft guys named Justin.
Oh, there you go.
Pretty good team.
Yeah. That was a nice pass.
I love me some Justin Fields, Brad.
Yep.
And I love me some Justin Jefferson coming out of that draft.
And what you'd love right now is to see Justin Fields put one in the end zone to Allen Robinson. I think Allen Robinson is all the way on the left, and he's got single coverage.
There's a little end around.
No, that didn't work all that great.
Who's that? Is that Robinson or is that Mooney?
Is that Mooney? That's Mooney, I think, isn't it?
Komet. There's some pieces on this. Well, I don't think Allen Robinson's going to be on their football team next year. He's going to be a free agent. I don't think they're going to re-sign him. So I think they might.
Yeah, that was Mooney. That was Mooney. That was Mooney.
They have Mooney. They have Komet. They have David Montgomery. They just have a coach who's a boob. I love Fields.
He's kind of
I don't know. Maybe you get a little younger in the trenches. I don't know. I think there's pieces on the Bears. I really do.
Well, they've gotten very bad quarterback play this year. There's a loss on the play and probably a holding penalty against the Bears to go along with it. So,
Don 19, Hutchinson or Kayvon Thibodeau. Aiden Hutchinson's obviously from Michigan. Kayvon Thibodeau is from Oregon. They're both look like terrific prospects. Look, if I had the first pick in the draft, I would take Aiden Hutchinson. Beast defensive end out of Michigan. Guy's a monster. A little bit of breaking news here. Matthew Walsh, NHL, and the NHL Players Association have agreed to suspend all operations from December 22nd to December 25th. So they're gonna get a little blow, and
that's probably a good idea.
And take a 3-day break and get their bearings and move past.
My team doesn't have another game until next Wednesday. Next Monday anyway. As the lowly Detroit Red Wings invade Madison Square Garden, so that doesn't affect them at all.
And now we got a challenge of some kind here on Monday Night Football. I'm not sure what happened.
I think they're challenging because they just called an offside, I think, against the Vikings.
You can challenge that?
Well, I think because they called 12 men on the field, which is considered offside, isn't it?
Okay, so they're challenging 12 people on the field, and I have seen that challenge before, so you can challenge.
Yeah, you're allowed to challenge that. So, yeah.
Bryce Blackwell, Fields can play, just needs a coach and an offense. I think a coach would. He's got an offense.
He's got an offense. He's got guys on offense. They could use an offensive line upgrade, and they could use a real coach. I think those are two things they definitely need.
Yeah, like you use the Allen Robinson money to get a lineman in there. The Bears always seem to figure out on defense, so I think you'll be okay there.
They had a lot of money invested in their defense though this year, and they kind of let them down.
I think Nagy's the one that's letting them down.
I'm not a big fan of his. I don't think that he's.
Don19 wants to know our thoughts on Urban Meyer. I mean, Urban Meyer is just not a good human. He's not a good human. He bailed on Florida when he lost Tebow, and then he went to greener. Took a couple years off. He went to greener pastures in Ohio State, and then he bailed on them, resigned, said he had heart problems, and now he made the Jaguars even worse than they already were, which is almost impossible. But he destroyed them even more.
And doing the kind of things he did. From what I understand, kicking the field goal kicker. He's lucky that field goal kicker didn't pick him up and fire him through the.
If I was a football player and an old curmudgeon like Urban Meyer kicked me,
I'd punt him across the damn field.
I'd break him in half.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm
saying.
And
I would just deal with the consequences later.
Yeah,
whatever.
All right, then I'll go kick for another team. You touch me. No. In any event, Urban Meyer.
That's why they need Doug.
We'll see about that.
I think he'd be a great hire, Doug Peterson in Jacksonville. And I there's no love lost between me and Doug Peterson. He won me a Super Bowl. Great, thanks. But, man, he frustrated the hell out of me at post-Super Bowl. Frustrated the hell out of me.
Well, at this point, he's got a bad football team that he's going to try to build. So I don't think that's a bad thing.
But, I mean, it's a somewhat attractive job down there in Jacksonville, no, with Trevor Lawrence. You have a quarterback.
Yeah, but they don't have a very good fan base. They always end up going to London all the time. I mean, listen, if they offer him the job, I'm sure he would take it. But he might get a better offer. So, I don't know. I still don't.
He fumbled.
It's a fumble.
That ball's clearly out. If there's a clear recovery by Minnesota, it's going to be.
If they're challenging that being a fumble, that's definitely a fumble. I mean, I don't know what they're unless they're saying down by contact, but I mean,
no, they got the ball. They got it right.
Okay, so the Bears.
How about an 80-yard bomb right here to Justin Jefferson? Get me in those semifinals. That's a catch. There's my boy. What job is more attractive, Bears or Jags?
The Bears are lucky that they didn't get an extra 15 because that he was clearly out of bounds when he hit him.
Brad, what job's more attractive? Don19 wants to know, the Bears or the Jags?
Oh, the Bears.
Big time.
Oh, yeah. The Bears are a legendary team in the NFL.
You have legitimate football players on this Bears team. Khalil Mack's on this team. Yeah, Eddie Jackson's on this team.
Yeah, you're coaching. You're playing the legendary Soldier Field, the legendary Bears.
You're not going to have any empty stadiums.
Never. And you play in a division with you play in a classic division with three teams that have been around forever. I mean, there's no expansion teams or any of that garbage. In that division, I mean, you can't compare it. It's just not the same. The Jaguars are, they're playing with the Texans who have never really had much of a tradition at all. And as much as I feel that the Colts are a good team and everything else. That was a Baltimore team, and they're in Indianapolis, and it's not the same. Chicago fans are, that's a fan base that just adores their team.
What's a more attractive job, the Bears or the Giants?
I
think it's the Bears because of Justin Fields, and I love Justin Fields.
I think that's pretty much a toss-up because you're still coaching in New York, and you're still, all the tickets are sold, and that's hard to say. It's close. It's close. I mean, playing in New York, coaching in New York, or coaching in Chicago, they're both very desirable jobs. So,
let's do some early leans before we get out of here. Hand it over to Jimmy and Evan for the flight zone. Bears getting the ball back. We'll keep you updated.
What's going to be trouble this return?
Is he going to get the edge here? No, he's running backwards. He's making it worse.
What is he doing?
He's running backwards, and he
caught Devin Hester. That's not Devin Hester, so I don't know. Devin Hester is the only one. Yeah.
All right, let's do early leans. We'll start with the Eagles. They're laying 6.5 at home against the Washington football team. I'm inclined to take the Washington football team plus 6.5 here.
I'll take the points. If you're asking me about the money line, I do think the Eagles are going to win the game, but I don't think they're going to cover that spread.
Seahawks, Rams. Obviously, these are still Week 15 games. We'll get to Week 16 in just a few minutes here. Seahawks, Rams. I have no problem laying the 7 points here.
No, I think the Rams win big. I think they're going to come home and they're going to be fired up after beating the Cardinals. They have a chance to get back into first place. If they get back into first place, all the bullshit that people have been talking about them is going to get put to bed because they'll be in first place in the league, in the league, arguably the league's toughest division.
Outside chance at home field advantage as well. Got to win tomorrow, though.
Yeah. Well, Green Bay is not guaranteed to win every game.
Thursday night football. The San Francisco 49ers head to Tennessee.
Love the 49ers.
The Tennessee Titans are 3.5-point home underdogs.
As they should be.
Really? 3.5 home underdogs to the Niners?
Well, they should be underdogs. I don't know about 3.5. Listen,
I don't know. I like the Titans there.
If the line's over 3, if the line's 3 or more, I got to go with the Titans. But if it's 3.5, I mean, I got to go with the 49ers. If the line's over 3, you have to take the Titans.
Christmas night, you have the Colts. I thought there was 2 games on Christmas. I guess I'm wrong. Colts travel to Arizona. Arizona is a slim 1.5-point favorite.
I'll take the Colts.
I like the Cardinals got a rebound here, right?
I don't know.
At home on a holiday.
But the Colts have a chance to win that division now.
It's going to be a good game, no doubt about it.
I mean, those are 2 teams that really need a win. The Colts are not guaranteed a playoff spot. I think the Cardinals, regardless of what happens, they're in the playoffs no matter what. I mean, they would like to win the division, but right now the tiebreaker situation is such that Los Angeles would get the tiebreaker for sure.
I mean, we got a lot of loaded game. We got a loaded slate here on Sunday. I mean, the slate yesterday was kind of meh.
Yeah, but there's some good games tomorrow. I mean, on Saturday and Sunday.
So we got Buffalo going to Foxborough. Buffalo's getting 2.5 points. So New England is a home favorite of 2.5. I like the Bills here.
Yeah, I like the Bills, and I like the points.
The Ravens going to Cincinnati.
You know what? I'm going to take the Ravens.
Plus 2.5. You're getting 2.5.
The Ravens.
Let's go. It's time for a new dog in the AFC North. Let's go Bengals. I'm taking the Bengals minus 2.5. Like them.
Well, listen, the Bengals smoked them last time they played.
They did.
And I.
But like, if Lamar can't go, is Huntley going to have 2 good games in a row? Is he like that type of backup? or is he going to have film on him and be figured out?
I think the guy's a pretty good quarterback. I mean, he's had 2 good games in a row. He played real well against the Browns in the second half. They almost came back and won that game. Yesterday, I mean, against the Packers, they could have, should have, and they could have and should have won that game. And I totally disagreed with the decision. I agreed with them going for it on 4th down in the first quarter. I agreed with that because the ball was on the 2-yard line, and if you don't make it, then you play defense and you get real good field position again, and it's like a continuation of the drive before. And since they scored a touchdown on the second drive, you have nothing to complain about. But when you have a chance to just tie the game with an extra point and go into overtime, the way the Ravens were playing in the 4th quarter, they had all the momentum. And I do think that even if they would have lost the coin to us, I think they would have stopped Green Bay. They wouldn't have gotten more than a field goal. I do believe that the Ravens could have scored another touchdown against them. And I think that was a big mistake. There was no reason to do that. You had all the momentum in the world. You just came back from a 31-17 score in the 4th quarter. Your last 2 drives, you were able to get 2 touchdowns and basically march right down the field with ease. So what the hell are you doing? I didn't like it.
I didn't like it either, Brad.
That to me was I agreed with it in Pittsburgh because the Ravens couldn't stop the Steelers. If the Steelers won the toss, at the end of the game, the Ravens defense was toast. They couldn't stop the Steelers. So I get that one, and I agreed with that one, but I don't agree with yesterday at all. I thought that was a bad move. But I think the Ravens are going to find a way. They've been a very resilient team, and I think that they're going to be determined and they're going to find a way to win this game.
I made a comment there. I can't make out your YouTube name, but thank you for checking us out on YouTube. Do you think the Eagles can win? Of course they can win. It's the NFL. And I think they will win the football game. I don't think it's going to be easy. I don't think Washington's going to roll over, but I do think the Eagles are going to win the football game. And Nick Sirianni's the X factor. Going back to our poll question. So, come on, Nick. Need you. Validate your hire tomorrow night. Win a freaking game. Tampa Bay traveling to Carolina. But Brad, I think Tampa Bay's too banged up to be laying 10.5 on the road.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tampa, and Carolina has a pretty good defense. So, yeah, 10.5 is too much.
The Chargers travel to Houston. Chargers laying 9. Like, give me the Chargers.
I'll take the Chargers in the 9.
I don't care that they're on the road. Like,
it doesn't matter. They're going to score. They're going to score 30, 40 points against them. Detroit
and Atlanta. Detroit getting 5.5. The game's in Atlanta. I like Detroit here. How about a little winning streak for Don 19 and the Detroit Lions?
Nah, I think Atlanta's going to cream them.
Well, I'm mad at Atlanta because I had them plus 9.5 yesterday, and they didn't get it done.
Yeah, no, I think Atlanta's going to take all their aggravation about getting clobbered by San Francisco out on the poor Lions.
The Jaguars are playing the Jets. I couldn't care less. We're going to skip that one.
I like the Jets.
Cool, great. The Rams are going to travel to Minnesota.
Oh.
Fields is playing good.
Yes, he is.
Fields is playing good. Rams, Vikings, Brad.
What's the line?
3. Minnesota getting 3 at home. Miles Sanders, yeah, he does have to play better. He's got to play good. You know, they got to run the ball with Miles Sanders. Hopefully Jordan Howard can handle some of the workload as well, and the Eagles are going to have to run the football. Mix in some play action, mix in some Jalen Hurts running, and get a freaking win. You got to win this game. It's a must win.
I don't see Minnesota beating the Rams.
Neither do I.
I can't see. Minnesota is not really a good team. Okay, I mean, just because they're 6-7 and they're right in the playoff hunt, they're one of the stinky teams we were talking about. Okay, correct. And the only reason they're in it is because there's nobody else.
But now we're down to one stinky team in the NFC because I don't think the Niners are a stinky team anymore.
No, they're not.
They're legit.
Yeah, they're
Giants traveling to Philadelphia. Early line's -10, but I can't really form an opinion on this game until I see tomorrow.
I would tend if I'm the Eagles, I would spot the 10 points. I think the Giants have absolutely. It depends on who's quarterbacking, but I'm thinking about Jake Fromm going first game in Philadelphia. Yeesh.
Yeah, NFC. Yeah, that's not.
They're not going to score. The Giants aren't going to score a lot of points down there. They're not, and their defense does not travel. Their defense is real good at home, but they don't travel. So I could see the Giants getting wiped out in Philly.
You got the Bears traveling to Seattle. Seattle's laying 7. Seattle's not good enough to lay 7 to anybody. I'll take the Bears, especially if Justin Fields is going to play like this.
Yeah, he's playing well. That was a heck of a pass he just threw, by the way.
That's another. They've had a couple fourth downs here that they've converted. Biggie in the AFC. Steelers travel to Arrowhead. The Chiefs a staggering 9.5-point favorite over the Steelers.
I take the 9.5. I take the Steelers in the 9.5.
That's a lot of points.
Yeah, exactly.
Can Big Ben? I might take the Chiefs here because can Big Ben match Mahomes? I don't know about that.
I don't either, but I think being that Pittsburgh has to win the game. I think that they're going to keep it close.
Sunday Night Football, the Washington football team travels to Dallas. Another big line, 10.5. Dallas favored by 10.5. It's a lot.
Dallas is going to smoke them.
All right. Next Monday night, right here on the Sports Hounds, we'll be breaking it down. The Dolphins visit the Saints. Saints favored by 3.
I can't bet against the Saints at home. I just can't.
Dolphins are that team right now, though. 7 in a row.
They're
6 in a row, whatever it is.
They're feeling it. But, the Saints are still in it, too. It's not over for them.
Nope.
By any stretch. Now that they're 7-7, they probably feel like they're legitimately in it, and they should.
All right. Jimmy and Evan, Flight Zone, coming up next. Thank you to everyone who liked our show, commented on our show, shared our show. Thank you to Frank Vesby for producing the show. He's Brad Ryer. I'm Rob Brinkman. Until next Monday, everyone. Peace out.